Welcome back to my another video. So in front of me is actually the iPhone 11 Pro Max. Well, it's my daily driver actually, alongside my Note 10 Plus, as you can see here. And of course, this iPhone 11 Pro Max has been with me since 2022, when I bought this used for around 700 ringgit. Why it's so cheap during that time is because it's actually iCloud lock, and the seller actually wanted some money, so it was in a rush on selling this thing out. So I bought it from him, and well, of course, by the time it's actually iCloud lock, but I found a way to unlock it, and of course kept using it after it was unlocked until recently in 2025. And by the time I record this video, this iPhone 11 Pro Max has started to show its age and some issues. But of course, not to say my Note 10 Plus actually has also shown its age, but it's not as major as the iPhone 11 Pro Max, as well, I custom ROM this Note 10 Plus to the One UI 7. Yep, I think it's the current One UI software, I guess, for the most of the Samsung flagships. But unlike the iPhone 11 Pro Max, this one runs One UI 7 very smoothly. And of course, I custom ROM my device with the Eternity VROM. I think it's a 5.4 version, which is actually currently the latest version I could find from the website. So of course, I custom ROM this on my Note 10 Plus, and it actually runs very well. I mean, it runs a lot better than the iOS 18 on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. Surprising, right? Because it's unofficially supported, but it runs well. So bravo to the developers. Thank you guys for optimizing the software for the Note 10 Plus. And of course, this phone has the 12GB of RAM, the Exynos. I don't know why it's the exact model of it, but this is actually the Exynos model, because Snapdragon, well, unfortunately you can't custom ROM your Snapdragon Note 10 Plus. This is only for the global model. So well, I think the Note 10 Plus can still hold up for a few years to come, and especially with the very bright, vibrant display. I mean, it's still 60Hz, but well, the animation in One UI 7 doesn't make it look like 60Hz display. It's smooth, it's fast, it's fluid. And of course, I'm not using this Note 10 Plus for cameras. So yep, you still have a very good life to go with me. But not for my iPhone 11 Pro Max, because yeah, it's starting to show its age. I mean, it's iOS, so you can't actually, like Android, you can't custom ROM your software to an unofficially supported one. So yeah, that's a very major downside for iOS, since it's a lock. It's actually very locked. So the iPhone 11 Pro Max was launched back in 2019. I was 13 that time. In 2019, I was 13, and I'm actually quite impressed on the iPhone 11 Pro Max. It's actually held up very well during my past few years of use. I mean, of course, as I said, I didn't use this phone in 2019. I bought this used in 2022, so which means I have been using this device for around 22, 3, 4, 5, 3 years of usage. But yeah, even though I bought it in 2022, it's actually a 2019 flagship. So by the time in 2022, this device has already been around 3 years. So 3 years plus 3 years, so it's already been 6 years. And yeah, of course, 6 years of usage is of course going to start to show its age, especially on the performance. And not only that, I actually have encountered some issues with my iPhone 11 Pro Max. So let's boot up my phone first. So here it is. It's currently running on the iOS 18. I forgot the exact model. I will show you later. But give it time to boot it up. Alright, so here it is. This is my iPhone 11 Pro Max. And yep, this is my lock screen. So let me just enter my passcode. Hey, here it is. This is my iPhone 11 Pro Max. As you can see, look at that. It's very lagging, isn't it? Yeah. I think I should do a quick comparison between my Note 10 Plus and my 11 Pro Max in terms of the speed test. So I will move on to that later, and I can guarantee you my Samsung with the unofficial One UI 7 port runs a lot better than my iPhone 11 Pro Max running iOS 18. And of course, this phone still gets the latest iOS 26, the the liquid glass, software. This phone gets it. So let me just show you my iPhone 11 Pro Max specifications here. So here we go to general and about. Yep, this is my iPhone 11 Pro Max specifications. And I've been using this phone for 3 years, and well, surprising, right? I haven't even used half of the storage yet. But even though how well I optimize, how well I clean out my phone storage, it's still going to perform quite badly because it's already been 6 years old. 6 years, I mean, so it's normal. And for software update wise, this phone supports the latest iOS 26, as I mentioned just now. And I'm not surprised because if you according to the iOS 26 supported list, iPhone XR, XS, and the XS Max are no longer supported. But of course, iPhone 11 series alongside the iPhone SE second generation are the oldest devices that can run the latest iOS 26. But I'm not going to update on my iPhone 11 Pro Max because, well, look at it, it's already been very sluggish. So updating to the software will make it worse, and it's not actually it's not going to be a very good experience. So yeah, but not for my iPhone 11 Pro Max. As just a few days ago, I don't know why, but it kept glitching, as sometimes it can read, sometimes it can't detect my SIM card. And even though if it can detect, it will show no service. So that means I can't actually call, I can't actually message, I can't use my mobile data, or that. Yeah, it's called mobile data here. I mean, yeah. So it's actually a very deal breaker for me because I can't call. Not even a basic phone purpose I can use on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. And yeah, this is actually a very big issue. So another thing, as I mentioned just now, my iPhone 11 Pro Max has experienced some very, very, very major slowdown. I mean, if you compare it side by side, I mean, except for the third-party apps, I mean, look at this. If I open some, system apps or stock applications, it's not going to be that far ahead, but still, the Note 10 Plus is slightly ahead. So now let's move on to calculator. Yep, Note 10 Plus is still ahead. Now camera, around the same, but I think Note 10 Plus is slightly on the edge. But now let's move on to phone. Yep, Note 10 Plus just take the lead. Gallery of photos. Yep, Note 10 Plus just take the lead. Now let's move on to third-party software. Now this is actually the point where these two phones are going to be very distinct, especially in terms of the performance. So for example, Instagram, here we go. Yep, as you can see, it's actually quite fast on the Note 10 Plus. So another app, let's try. As you can see, I don't have any other common apps, as I'm using these two phones for different purposes. But now let's move on to Facebook. Open up instantly on the Note 10 Plus. That is actually quite impressive for the 6 years old device, and it doesn't run on the stock firmware. It's running on the custom firmware from the opens, I mean the other from the other developers. So now let's look back. So now let's look at the RAM test. So this phone, my Note 10 Plus, has 12GB of RAM. My iPhone 13, my iPhone 11 Pro Max only has 3GB of RAM. So let's test out the background applications. First I'll be settings. Yep, good on both of them. Calculator. Yep, of course, these are just a very lightweight app, so it's not going to be a very major issue. What about Instagram? Oh my god, Instagram is like refresh on the iPhone, so let's open it up. No, it didn't, but I have no idea why it jumped to the camera feed. So now let's look. After that, let's go to Facebook. So as you can see, in terms of the performance, my Note 10 Plus still takes the lead. Very fast. It's not running on the official Android firmware. It's running on the third-party developed software, even though it looks like the, you know, the original One UI 7 from Samsung, but this is not. This is actually the custom ROM firmware, and it still runs very good. Not gonna lie, it runs fluidly, very fast, very efficient, and you also get the AI features like the Now Breathe. You know, that's actually available on the some newer S24 series, and of course the current S25 and the Z Flip 6 and 7 and other newer flagships. But my Note 10 Plus runs it. Of course, not only that, it supports AI features too, like, you know, circle to search, Gemini. Now let's move on to the app, Gemini. And of course, the Samsung AI, I mean the Galaxy AI. And of course, the Galaxy AI is actually supported on this device, and everything runs great. I mean, of course, there are some bugs like the face recognition, and of course S Pen is actually, there are some bugs on the S Pen too, like you can't use it as a remote. That is what we call the wireless control, I guess. So yeah, I mean, look at that, it's already been 6 years, so I think it's actually the time to upgrade my iPhone 11 Pro Max. Actually I want to use it for another year, but as you can see, compared to my Note 10 Plus, that phone runs very well, but this one actually runs very slow, and I can't use this phone as my daily driver anymore. It doesn't have the energy, the aura, I mean, sorry, not those kind of slang, but it doesn't have the, you know, the performance that actually impressed me. And yeah, that's a very big deal. And another thing is that this phone only has 3GB of RAM, and of course 3GB in 2025, even though it's iOS, it has a different logic than Android in terms of the RAM management, but 3GB is still not enough in 2025. I mean, leave out the Apple Intelligence, this phone doesn't support it, but my iPad Air M1 and my M2 MacBook Pro supports it. This phone doesn't, but I'm not gonna use Apple Air anyway because it still sucks. It's stupid compared to the others AI. I might well just use ChatGPT for that, and of course leave out the AI side. When I open any apps, it will just crash instantly, or you know, sometimes it's not instantly, but yeah, it still crashes instantly. Like when I open Discord, I want to text someone, I open it, and it will just black out and back to the home screen. And another thing is actually Instagram is also starting to be run very slow on my iPhone 11 Pro Max. Yeah, Instagram is actually quite, you know, it's actually a very common apps that I use to, you know, message my friend, you know, watch the stories, look at the stories, post, and of course that is actually my daily apps that I use alongside Facebook and Discord. And for my iPhone 11 Pro Max, it's actually starting to be very slow and glitchy, and sometimes of course crash out. And yeah, I don't think I can use this phone for another year. It's not actually a good investment. I mean, yeah, investment is also a thing, but of course not a very good idea to keep using my 6 years old device. And next year is going to be 7 years old. And of course my Note 10 Plus is going to be 7 next year, as they are both launched in the same year. But this one still runs very well, so leave it aside. My iPhone cannot handle it anymore. It just doesn't satisfy me anymore like it used to. So yeah, I think it's time to upgrade my device.